The first thing I remember isn't a birthday or a bedtime story. It's the sound of glass shaking in its frame, wind pushing against old windows, like the house itself wanted me gone. I was 10, cross-legged on the carpet with a box of crayons, trying to color quiet. The walls carried voices from the kitchen, sharp, cutting, the kind that made my stomach twist. Then my name dropped like a hammer. "She's a curse," my mother hissed. My father's voice followed, heavy, final. Everything fell apart after she was born. I froze, the green crayon pressed so hard it snapped in my hand. I'd heard fights before, but never words like those. Curse. Mistake. Bad luck. Not whispered, announced. Like I was a headline in their disaster. When the silence came, it was thicker than smoke. My mother appeared in the hallway, eyes flat, voice sharp, "Go pack a bag." I thought maybe we were visiting someone, maybe a sleepover. I even asked, "For how long?" She didn't answer. In my room I folded my favorite jeans, stuffed a hoodie into my backpack, and tucked Penny, my rabbit, down at the bottom. I was embarrassed to still need her, more embarrassed to leave her behind. The car ride was quiet. She never looked at me, never spoke. When the car slowed in front of my grandparents' house, I expected the engine to click off. Instead, her hands stayed tight on the wheel. "Get out." Just that. No goodbye. No see you soon. I opened the door, the backpack pulling at my shoulders. By the time it clicked shut, her car was already rolling away. My grandfather cracked the door, eyes tired. "Arya, what are you doing here?" I whispered. Mom dropped me off. He looked down the street, at the taillights disappearing. Then he sighed. A long, heavy surrender. He slipped me a folded blanket and closed the door in my face. Just like that, the air bit at my skin as the sun sank. I pulled the blanket tighter, waiting for someone, anyone, to come back. Hours passed. Finally, the neighbor, Mrs. Ellison, hurried over. "Oh, sweetheart," she murmured, ushering me inside. Warmth. Cinnamon. Old books. She draped me in a sweater far too big, sleeves swallowing my hands. She didn't ask questions, and I didn't offer answers. I just sat on her couch, staring at the house across the street, hoping for headlights that never came. Mrs. Ellison's spare room became mine. Steady days replaced chaos, no slammed doors, no screams. But steadiness didn't fill the hollow. At school events, I scanned the crowd. Other kids had cameras flashing, parents clapping. Mrs. Ellison always sat quietly in the second row, her hands folded, her face kind. But the empty seat beside her screamed louder than applause. I kept writing letters anyway. "Hi Mom, I got an A. Dad, I miss you." I slipped them into the mailbox, imagining them landing somewhere, sparking memory. Until one day, Mrs. Ellison showed me a stack bound with a rubber band. All my envelopes, stamped "Return to Sender," I held them like fallen soldiers. That was the night I learned words could leave me but never reach the place I wanted. By 15, while helping Mrs. Ellison clean, I found a box marked miscellaneous at the bottom, an envelope with my name. Inside were bank statements, an account opened when I was born, tiny deposits growing over time. By the last page, the balance was over $12,000. My breath caught. 12,000. Enough for college. Security. But the next line gutted me. Balance, 0. Withdrawn 2 weeks after I'd been dropped on that porch. 2 signatures. My parents. It wasn't just abandonment. It was erasure. They had taken even the future meant for me. Rage filled me, not fiery, but low and steady, smoldering. That night I dug out an old drawing of a family under a crooked roof. I redrew it. This time only 2 figures, me and Mrs. Ellison. At the bottom, I carved the words into the paper, "Start here." Work became my rebellion. First at a cafe, then scrubbing floors at a gym, then waitressing at a diner. My clothes always smelled of bleach or bacon grease, but each dollar tucked beneath my mattress felt like proof I existed on my own terms. In between shifts, I lived at the library. I taught myself coding, design, anything I could. In the margins of a notebook, I scribbled 2 words, Haven Rise. A place for kids like me, the forgotten, the invisible, to learn how to survive. BY19, Haven Rise was real. Messy, imperfect, but alive. Teenagers from shelters, foster kids, students without families to guide them, they found it. Their messages kept me going. This helped me apply for college. I thought I was alone. A journalist wrote about it. Then another. The headlines called me the girl who built herself from nothing. But I never forgot the smell of bleach in my clothes, the weight of being overflow. One afternoon at a hospital, I saw her. My mother. Her hand rested gently on the shoulder of a girl about 12. Her voice was soft, tender, like it had never been with me. Our eyes brushed for a second. No recognition. Or worse, recognition followed by choice. She turned back to the girl as though I was no one. Years later, an envelope arrived from a law firm. My parents, through counsel, requesting I help pay for my younger brother's tuition. They wrote about the years they raised and supported you. As if porches and returned letters didn't exist. As if draining my savings had never happened. Then came an email from my uncle, family duty. I printed both, scrawled a note across them, silence is not agreement. It's a boundary, but the past wasn't finished. A box arrived, inside, a VHS tape. April 2004. Grainy footage of me on that porch, backpack straps cutting into my shoulders, Penny's ear sticking out. My father's voice, you don't live here anymore. A car door slammed, tires on gravel. I stood frozen, 10 years old, learning how the world worked in a single sentence. Proof. Not memory, record. That night I filmed a video. No music, no polish. Just my voice. This isn't revenge. This is record, for every child told they were the problem, for every kid erased from their family's story. I posted it with a clip of the tape. By morning, thousands had seen it. By night, millions. The messages poured in. People abandoned, silenced, forgotten. My story was no longer mine alone. The weight shifted. An invitation came next. My brother's banquet. Gold lettering, expensive paper, no acknowledgement of years lost. I went. Not out of love, but clarity. Inside, tables gleamed with crystal, laughter echoed. My place card was stamped with one word, overflow. No flowers, no centerpiece. Just overflow. My father stood later, raising a glass, thanking everyone who had stood by our family. My name never spoken. I wrote 4 words on my card, this table was never mine. I left it on the plate and walked out. The courtroom was nearly empty when the judge said, she owes you nothing. My parents sat stiff ahead of me. I didn't look at them. I only felt the air lighten. Later, they tried again, my mother reaching for a hug, whispering, you'll always be my daughter. I lifted my hand just enough to stop her. The hug died before it reached me. Not long after, my cousin called, crying. Her mother had started calling her baby a curse after some hardships. That word jolted through me like an electric wire. I told her what no one told me, a child is never to blame. Curses aren't real. But scars are. Today, Mrs. Ellison lives with me. Her books fill my shelves, her slippers rest under the bed. And above the dresser hangs the drawing I remade at 15, a girl walking toward an open door. Every time I see it, I remember, family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the hand that stayed when every other hand let go. And maybe that's what survival really is, not proving them wrong, but building something truer than the story they left you. So let me ask you, if you were told you were a curse, would you carry it? Or would you burn it down and start again?